Welcome back. Well, the government has approved the medical device policy, which aims to increase India's share in the global medical device market. Remember, currently we import around 70 to 80% of our needs when it comes to medical devices. Himanshu Baid, who is the managing director of Medicure, which manufactures medical devices, is in fact one of the largest exporter of medical devices out of the country as well, joins in to discuss this. Mr. Baid, thank you very much for taking the time out. If you could just start by telling us what would be the overall impact of this particular policy and how much do you think indigenous production of medical devices could increase for India, say, in the next 3 years?
First initial feedback we have from the government is that it's going to boost manufacturing because we'll have uniform policy across all these states. Currently, medical device regulation is driven by states and center both. So I think there will be a big alignment there. Also, when you look at departments managing medical devices, there are a lot of departments which manage medical devices. So that will fall under now single window clearance. So that will also, kind of help us in ease of doing business. And I think the third most important point is setting up a medical device export promotion council. So a dedicated export promotion council, because currently we fall under Pharmacil, Plex Council, EPC, EPC. So now we have a dedicated council, and that will help us to push exports. And government will, I think, give some grants also for exporting companies.
Okay. Mr. Baid, I just wanted to touch upon one sub-segment within medical devices, which is basically high-end medical devices. The things like CT scans, MRI machines, robotic surgery machines. Do you think that India has the capability and the ability to manufacture it and reduce the dependence, which currently stands at, majority within the import basket of medical devices?
So I think in last few years, because of the PLI scheme, so PLI scheme did cover these high-end medical equipments. And we are seeing investments coming in AMTZ, made by large multinational companies like GE, Philips, Siemens, and also some other, local Indian companies. So in 2-3 years, we will see imports going down and these equipment being manufactured in India for Indian market as well as for the global markets. So already investments have come in last 2 years, I would say around more than 1,000 crores in this sector.
Okay, all right. Is there a difference in terms of quality, say, when you compare the high-end medical devices manufactured in India vis-a-vis the MNCs of the world?
No, I think first thing was harmonization of regulations. And I think that is the one important step which will happen through this policy. And once Indian regulations are harmonized with global regulations, I think Indian products will also, find those export markets, which are high-end export markets, because currently our regulation was not non-existent. Only from 1st October 2022, Class A and B devices have got regulated. And from 1st October 2023, Class C and D devices will be regulated. So once the full regulation, kind of takes place in India for all medical devices, I think then, we will have a bigger market for our products in exports.
Okay. What about your company in specific? Do you have, I know you're present in the disposable segment quite significantly, but anything that you're focusing on when it comes to the high-end segment as well as regulated markets such as US, Europe?
So we have already applied for USFDA approvals, and shortly we should receive the approvals. And so that's where we probably think that the biggest growth will come in future. And also we are moving into critical care segment, and that is also high end, compared to more, making more products for ICUs versus in operation theaters. So that will also help us to move into the higher segment in coming years.
With devices, is the advantage the same as with medicines, which is the cost? Because, you've got giants in the space, right? You've got everyone from J&J to Siemens to whatnot, who've been doing this for decades. So what's the advantage? Yeah.
So the advantage would be, I think, Make in India is a big advantage because, we will take, access for lower R&D cost, lower manufacturing costs compared to, let's say, other countries. Today in China, the cost of, let's say, one employer labor cost is close to $700 to $800 versus India is around $200. So we have a huge advantage arbitrage in terms of manpower costs. Even our engineering costs, R&D costs are much, much lower compared to any other country. So India definitely has an advantage in manufacturing.
Okay, just a two-part question. Have you participated in the PLI scheme? If so, where do things stand? And secondly, for the USFDA approval, for which medical device have you applied to the US for a USFDA approval? And when you said that soon, what is the timeline?
So I'll answer the first one for USFDA. So the USFDA approvals, we have made the final applications. Hopefully, we should receive approvals within this current quarter. And these are mainly for infusion accessories and infusion products, which is our core business. 65 to 70% of our revenues come from those products. And this is where, we are very confident that we will get good access to US market. In terms of PLI, it was for renal products. And we have grown last year 40%. This year, we also plan to grow over 40% in renal segment. Though the base is smaller, but I think it will take some time to, get fully, in this segment because, again, India has a big reuse market for renal products. And as time progresses, reuse has to stop because it causes more infection, reduces life expectancy. So hopefully, as time progresses, we will see also good offtake in renal business too.
Okay, all right, Mr. Baid. We're hoping that offtake does come through because definitely it would be a big boost for the Indian economy if in case the indigenous production of medical devices does pick up. Thank you very much for joining in and talking to us. We need to take a short break. Up next, we'll be focusing